So yeah, we'll go about what we're... Oh, hello, cat.
Yeah, I hope he's not too loud. That's my son.
That's fine. We've had other cats guesting on the podcast before.
Yeah, my cat has been a particularly sorrowful singer today. I do not know why. He's like, hey, hey, just like all day long.
He's been really clingy today. I don't know what his deal is. And he's been asleep since I got off work and moved from bed space to living room space. He's been asleep in his little perch, and he's like, "Oh, you're talking? Okay, here, I'll come. I'll talk to you."
Yeah. Oh, a company? Oh, let me break out the welcome mat.
I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, the podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Quirky Shank.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
I felt real good.
Did you?
That one? Yeah, that one felt like right.
I'm glad. I'm glad that it felt good. That's what I'm here.
Felt like a hug from my mouth.
I'm here to support
to
you.
The internet. Thank you, Matt. How are you, friend?
I'm doing all right. I'm exhausted and don't sleep anymore. But beyond that, I'm great. Hooray!
Hooray! Sleep.
I want to introduce our guest right away because I'm really excited. We are completing another podcast set. First, we did Less Rewatch. Then we had the first half of this podcast. And now we got the second half. We have Micah Black from Below Freezing on the show.
Ooh, just got so chilly in here. Someone's so cool. Frosty. How you doing, Micah?
I'm good. I mean, we're living through the apocalypse, so what does good mean anymore? But
fair enough.
But all things considered, doing pretty good.
That's excellent. And we're going to talk to you more about Below Freezing in a bit. Y'all might remember that we had CJ period, as it were, just CJ on the show, which was a blast. And we talked a lot about music. And I think me and CJ at some point have to start a music podcast. I think that's just in the cards when I have the wherewithal.
No, Matt, no more podcasts for Matt. No, Matt gets.
I know, I have too
many.
None
more podcasts.
CJ is at least among the people I know, the king of playlists.
Yes.
I have been writing something, and I told him when I started last year, I was like, when I'm done with this, you're going to read it, and I want you to make a playlist for it, because his playlists are always just pitch perfect.
Oh, so good. Yeah, after his episode, I put, the playlist mentioned in my Spotify rotation, and they were my shower jams for, 4 months.
He just knows how to nail a vibe. He did a fall series called the Cold Weather Tapes, and they were just like a cozy fall blanket.
That's
awesome. I love it.
They're great.
I'll have to send you my Spotify profile because I've made a bunch of playlists in a similar vein. So I'm curious your thoughts.
I will not send you any of my playlists because they're trash.
Oh, mine too.
They're not that bad.
They're my trash though.
Not that bad.
Where else is someone going to go? All right, we'll put some Twice with some CRJ. Don't even worry about it. No one's judging you. Have another donut. It's fine. Those are my playlists.
I've gotten messages from friends that just said, "Really?" And then a screen grab of my Spotify, what I was listening to at that moment. It's like, listen.
Hey.
No guilty pleasures. You should love all the music you love, unapologetically.
And I do. I know that a lot of it is garbage, but some of it is really good, but some of it's garbage. So.
But this is not a podcast about playlists, although I guess it could be. It is a podcast where we talk about the most recent things we've watched, and I will go first, as I always do. And the thing that I'm bringing today is something I've already talked about on 2 other podcasts that by the time this airs, we'll have all the 2 other podcasts that I talked about it on will have aired. But I want to talk about it because I don't actually know if Rachel watched it. I feel like it'll be Micah's bag, though, just in the Below Freezing realm, but I'm not sure if either of you watched it. So the movie I'm bringing today is Happiest Season, which was a queertacular...
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet either.
It's a queertacular holiday movie, Christmas specifically. It came out on Thanksgiving, and it's about
with the one and only Christmas Stewart.
It's got a heavily queer cast, queer director, queer writer, queer producers.
And you followed that Levy all the way in there.
I do.
Didn't
I'm a big Dan Levy
Yep.
fan, so I will watch anything he's in.
Yep. Knew it.
Although a mutual friend of mine and Sarah's was in it as well. His name is Burl. He plays Alison Brie's husband in the movie, whose character name I've already forgotten. But yeah, so we watched it because my spouse Sarah had wanted to watch it because she loved a lot of folks involved, and because it's a queer coming out movie. I wanted to watch it for Dan Levy, and that's about it. Dan Levy. But I ended up sort of enjoying it. It's complicated. So for those who don't know who are listening, the movie is about a young queer couple. I'm assuming they're lesbians, but I actually don't know. I think they could be other cross sections of queerness as well. But either way, they're a couple, and one of the pairs of the pair invites their girlfriend to come home with them for the holidays. Drunkenly, while they're out and celebrating, having fun, she's like, "Oh, you should come home with me for the holidays. I'd love for you to meet my family." And then on the drive out to meet her family, she confesses that she's closeted to her parents. Her father's running for mayor. They're coded very Republican, and although I don't know it's explicitly said in the movie, and that they have to pretend to not be together. And what makes it worse is that she actually has told her parents about her girlfriend, except she said that it was her orphaned roommate, not because Kristen Stewart's character's parents are dead. They had passed away when she was young. So not only are they not together and can't be together while they're around her family, but also they think that she's her orphaned friend roommate. And that they live together.
And that they're doing this holiday because the orphan
has
situation.
nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah. And so
it's like a weird, sad reverse birdcage, you know?
Yeah, it's a strange movie, and I don't want to give too much of it away. I mean, there's no spoilers per se, but ultimately it's a Christmas movie with a happy ending, and that's gotten a lot of weird ire from the queer community. But that said, I think it's my summary for this movie is queer people should be able to make mediocre romantic comedies as well. Ultimately,
that's representation right there.
Right.
Everyone should be able to make it was fine movies.
Yeah. And ultimately, I think it's done well. There's a speech that Dan Levy gives towards the end about being closeted and coming out that made me cry and made me think about my own queerness in a way I hadn't in a while, because I never came out to my parents, but I also don't hide that I'm queer. But since I'm in a straight presenting relationship, I feel like, do I have to explain bisexuality to my parents? They're going to be like, but you married a woman. And I'm like, yes, but. And so I've never had that conversation, but this movie made me think about that and think about maybe having that conversation. My parents aren't homophobic to my knowledge, and they're not conservative. They're Democrats, they're liberals, they're pretty open people. I just think it'll be more of a logistical, I don't understand. How are you queer?
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to have that conversation. But yeah, I think the movie is fine. I think it's not funny enough to be a comedy. I think it's also, I'm not a fan of The Office. I like Parks and Rec because it breaks away from The Office's awkward comedy and does more wholesome comedy. But The Office and the first season of Parks and Rec, I can't stomach because the anxiety is contagious to me. I'm an empath, and so
I feel the same way. I can't handle cringe at all. So awkward comedy, I never laugh. I just want to die.
Yeah.
So I feel the same way. I love Parks and Rec, but I have never watched The Office all the way through. I've watched individual episodes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
There are brief funny moments, but.
And so this movie does a lot of that, but it's also more dramatic, I think, than a lot of other romantic comedies of its ilk. And so I think that there's a disconnect. I honestly didn't like the first 2/3 of the movie, but the last third and the coming out of the closet and the what ensues, the actual final act, along with Dan Levy's speech about coming out, that made the whole movie worth it. but I think it's a sum of its parts kind of movie. Like, the cast is incredible. Alison Brie is in it. Aubrey Plaza is in it. Victor Garber is in it. Mary Steenburgen is in it. Dan Levy, Kristen Stewart. Like, it's an insane cast. And there are other folks I'm leaving out. I think it's well acted, it's well presented. There are moments that make me laugh, but all in all, I think it's important for representation. I think I'm glad that there's discourse around it. I just want a better movie because I think quality wise, it's not as good as I wanted it to be, or at least it didn't feel as funny as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I have not seen it yet. I do intend to watch it, but I have read some reviews because I was curious about the reception that it was getting, and most of the reviews I read were from members of the queer community or talking to friends of mine who are queer and just being curious about what they thought about it. And I've heard very, very mixed responses. Some that were like, I thought it was great, I loved the ending. Others that were like, this relationship is super toxic. And it's like, I think one phrase that I heard said, and I can't remember if this was a review or just a friend saying it like on Twitter, but that they took everything that was bad about straight rom-coms and then they just made it queer. And I was like, but yeah, so I haven't seen it yet. I don't know how to feel about it. And I've definitely heard mixed reviews. I do still intend to watch it though, because I adore Kristen Stewart, and Aubrey Plaza looks amazing in the stills of her that I've seen from the film. And I keep hearing like she's in it for 30 seconds, but everyone is obsessed with Aubrey Plaza. So I assume the 30 seconds is an exaggeration.
She gets some pivotal scenes. I think so my take on it is I think it's important for, like I said before, for queer people to make mediocre movies also. But I think what's also really important is like, it's not really a spoiler, but the big thing is like, Harper, the lead, who's closeted, treats her partner, Kristen Stewart, whose character I think is Abby, poorly, and like chooses her family and to be closeted over supporting her girlfriend and her friend. And like they have a big blowout fight at the end. I won't get into the details because I still want you to experience it, but then it does end with a happy ending where they end up together. And I think the big problem
it's a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Like,
yeah,
this is not a good couple to be together, as all Hallmark movies are not good couples who should be together. I'm looking at you, Christmas Prince.
Yeah. And I think what's important here, and my spouse actually brought this up because I felt the same way. I was like, why did they get back together? It doesn't make sense. Or why are they together rather? And my spouse is like, because there are enough nonsense language around queer relationships and how they're hard or they're difficult or they're different. And the reality is this is just another couple struggling. And what they're struggling about is very centered on queerness. But for it to fail would be like, look, see, queer relationships fail. What's the point? And she was right. And I tend to agree with that. What I can't stand is that there are straight people on the internet being like, this is toxic. Someone who can't be honest about who they are, you should just dump them and move on. And I'm like, you've never been closeted in this way.
Yeah.
You can't speak to this. It's not the same. It's just not the same as anything else. So
that is a unique experience that, like, I know that I haven't experienced, and I know that I could never, like, all I know is that I could not speak to how anyone should behave in that experience. So, yeah, I noticed that as well, and I was like, that's super not your place to comment on this specific aspect of this movie.
Yeah. All that said, though, I do want to take a moment to say that I have been and will continue to be wrong about Kristen Stewart. I did sort of like her as an actress, but I never really seen her as a leading lady until now because I missed the new Charlie's Angels, which I really want to see.
I loved it.
I've heard good things.
I think I might be the only one. As soon as it got over, I turned to CJ and said, I want 6 more of these. And he was like, okay. I've rewatched it since, and it's great. And Kristen Stewart is hot as hell in that movie. She's great.
She's hot in hell most of the time. And like, I'm realizing more and more that the problem with Twilight was not the actors, it was Twilight. Like both Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart have gone on to do phenomenal things. And so it is clear now to me that she was never a bad actress. She was given bad stuff because she's done nothing but knock it out of the park after. But this is the first time I really got to see her on screen do that, and she was phenomenal. She's great. I think they should put her at the front of tons of movies because I think she was phenomenal. So yeah, I think My only
So what you're saying is we have to watch Underwater, the horror movie that she did at the bottom of the ocean.
it's like my
How
worst
dare
fear.
you, Matt.
It's like my worst fear. Like I don't do claustrophobia well, and so
I
like
don't either.
I'm claustrophobic, and like there's a scene in the third Mass Effect game, which we're playing for Reignite right now on my other podcast, where you get in this mech and then just sink to the bottom of the ocean and walk on the ocean floor, and it was awful. I hated
Squeaky.
it. Yeah.
It's like a thing on Below Freezing that I don't do space movies. So
Uh-huh.
like Gravity, fuck no. And anything adjacent.
Yeah.
And it's because it triggers my claustrophobia, and I know I want to watch it so bad. It's Kristen Stewart, and I love horror, but that's the kind of horror that will give me a panic attack. So
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't.
Yeah, probably
Don't.
not.
Yeah, don't then.
Also, like, you love horror, but you also put me through Silent Hill. So, like, let's cool it.
I forgot that we did that.
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm so sorry.
I'm mad that you made me want to watch the second one. That's what I'm
Have
really
you?
mad about.
Have you
No,
watched
not
the
yet.
second one?
Not
I haven't.
yet.
I haven't either, but I kind of want to too. But I didn't. I can't remember. Did I give it a still fresh? Might have done. I don't know. I didn't hate
I
it.
don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I think we all were like, it was fine, and there were some interesting moments. So anyway, back to Happiest Season. I think that everyone should watch it. I think if you're queer, you might find something in it. You might also find something to not like about it, and I think both are okay.
Yeah, that's a Hallmark movie.
Yeah,
Literally, like your review of this is just a Hallmark movie, or it's like
pretty much.
some of this is really bad, and why are these people together?
Yeah.
And the only thing that hasn't happened that you have said is that there's a very big Christmas event.
There is.
That it's a Hallmark movie.
There you go.
It's gotta be. Honestly, if it was really, really good, that would make me sad. Because if it's gonna be a Hallmark movie, it's gotta kind of stink a little.
It does kind of got.
It's kind of gotta be a bit of a turd, and
Um,
you love it anyway.
Yeah. I will say there are
A
some
Christmas turd.
the big
Next Hallmark installment.
the biggest highlights for me and takeaways is Aubrey Plaza gets to be not a jackass. Like, she still gets to be sarcastic because I think that's just her baseline, but she is a caring, genuine person in this movie. Alison Brie is a total bitch in the best way. She is almost irredeemable, and I love to see it because she's so nice and everything else. And then, like,
Is she though? Because in Community, she's
she's
kind of terrible.
nice, finger quotes.
Yeah.
She's polite
Yeah,
in that,
that's
but she does absolutely drug the study group.
That's true.
Please do not forget
That's true.
that Annie Edison drugged the study
You're
group.
not wrong. And of course, Dan Levy was great. Every scene he was in was gold because he was mostly himself, and he's delightful. My one complaint is, like, I love Victor Garber, and I know he's made a career playing the older dad or older father type straight role, but, like, he's one of our more famous queer actors, and he is still playing the straight dad, which I get why. And, like, he does, and he's good at it. And I think that's one thing that was brought up on the intro to the most recent episode of Shut Up, Evan, as and when this airs, is that when me and Evan were talking about it, the movie had queer actors playing queer actors playing straight actors playing queer, straight actors playing straight. So it showed that people shouldn't be typecast. They should be able to play all the things. And so that was good. So that's my thoughts on Happiest Season. I think that if you like Christmas movies, you should watch it.
If you like Hallmark movies, I've not watched it, but this is a Hallmark movie.
So you're going to go watch it.
Oh my God, I have to get through what I've brought first.
Fair enough.
So,
Okay.
yeah. So, Matt,
Yes.
if you had to sum up Happiest Season in just 3 words, and you cannot use happiest or season, what 3 words would you choose?
Christmas queer delight.
Christmas queer delight. Yes.
I mean, if you
Kiss
were
on
gonna
that
pick
one.
3 words to convince me to watch it, then there
you
they
go.
are.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was a more delicate way of saying gay Hallmark movie.
Yes. Which is your 3-word review, having not watched it.
Having
But
not
again,
watched it,
gay
don't-
Hallmark movie, that would do it too.
I'm in. It's just finally admitting what we've known all along.
Yeah.
Hallmark movies, they're so gay.
They are.
They're like about straight people, but oh my gosh. Like, are you kidding me?
Every love triangle in a Hallmark movie, I'm like, I know the 2 points of the
Love
triangle
it.
that should be together are not going to end up together, but we all know, right?
We all know.
Those sweaters
Never
are too
forget.
good on those hunky men to be wasted on this woman who doesn't appreciate them.
Right, exactly. I would be remiss also if I didn't shout out our brand new seasonal podcast, Certain Point of View, which on their episode about Happiest Season, I am a guest. And so you should definitely go check that out. You can go to certainpov.com and look up Certain Point of View, our short-term, short-run Christmas
festive
Festive.
podcast. Our podfest. No, that's
You're fine.
I'll come up with it. It's
You'll get
fine.
there.
Sometimes I'm good at hashtags and portmanteaus. Now is not one of those times, and you know what? That's fine.
That is fine.
This is a fine. Hey, this podcast. It's fine.
It's fine. All right, is this a
It's
good
part of a fine
episode?
podcast.
Should I ask that here too?
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Rachel, what is the most
It's
recent
about
thing?
it's about to get a lot finer though.
Is it?
Just hold on to your butts.
Rachel, what is the most recent thing that you have watched?
Well, so I have to break the rules again
What else?
because
is new?
I do not think I can talk about one film in this franchise that I've been indulging in. I'm not finished with it, but I'm talking about action, cars, family.
You finally
I watched the first 5 Fast and Furious movies.
Wow. I still haven't
It
seen any of them.
Has happened.
Oh my God.
For me,
Welcome.
I'm so excited.
Oh my God. Yes.
Yes.
I
yes.
love it.
Yes. Excuse me. Why did no one tell me that this is just car soap operas?
I'm so
It's
sorry. If anyone had told me
amazing.
that you hadn't seen them.
Oh, it's okay. The internet knew. This is like the first time I'm letting the internet know for real that this is happening. But yeah, I've been slowly, and by slowly I mean very quickly, consuming multiple movies. In fact, I'm actually in the middle of the 6th one, but like since we have to do a completed thing, I'm not.
Yeah. Okay.
But like it's more of the same.
Well, why don't-
and that's great.
Why don't we, for
Yes.
my sake, since I've not
Yes.
seen, I think I saw the first one and
Yeah,
Tokyo Drift.
I think most people did. Yeah.
Do you want to just talk about the first one since you started that adventure very recently? Or do you want to talk about the fifth one?
I did start with Tokyo Drift, and then I went back and watched 1 and 2.
Nice.
In one sense, I'm like kind of horrified, but in another, like it's good to get Tokyo Drift out of the way as quickly as possible and then forget that it happened. And then just
see, I
go
loved
back.
Tokyo Drift.
Oh.
That one's the anime, and I love it.
Oh, that's
Sure.
true.
This kid shows up at his school, and the next day is just like, I found the underground racing community in this foreign country I've been in for less than 24 hours.
It is.
That's genius.
It is an anime. I hated that kid.
Oh, that kid sucks.
the main
but
character.
I'm not mad.
And Han is the love of my life.
Han is the best. Just
Han's
the best.
back. I even know that. Han's
back.
Han's back.
Han's
Go
like-
look. I mean, don't because it's a lot of scrolling, but like go look at my tweets. Like my Twitter, I was just a Han Stan account for like 2 weeks after that trailer dropped. Like multiple people sent me that trailer and were like, holy shit, Micah, your world is gonna explode. And it did. It did. I've never screamed that loud. Not out of fear.
Han. Yeah. So for those of us who used to be me until the middle of this past week, do not know The Fast and the Furious. It is a franchise born out of a car version of essentially Point Break.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's accurate.
You know, like undercover cop integrates into this like underground society, is enamored with the sort of this charismatic leader of this group or this like member of this society, and like love and respect grows. It's kind of like a straight romantic comedy. You know, like somebody's lying. It's kind of like a car Hallmark movie. Like this might be a toxic relationship, but like at least he lets him get away in the end. And out of that is born two ideas that kind of are weird and stink a little before they go, no, we just need Vin Diesel back. It's cool. Like we messed up. You're right. We were wrong for 2 movies. We were wrong. We didn't get it. We got it. We got it back. We're gonna, and then they do weird physics with cars. It's like a child playing with cars in like a movie form. And please do not think that this is me disparaging that. That is what is great about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the things they can accomplish with cars it's
absurd.
Buck wild.
Wait until you get to. Have you seen the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw?
Yes, I have.
It's just
they make a little train. It's a very large train, actually, made out of vehicles that are attached to a helicopter. And
because yes, of course they do.
What else do you need? So when I was in grad school, my already existing anxiety and depression were debilitatingly bad, and it was something that we all shared, everyone in our cohort. And so to give ourselves even just a drop of dopamine, my roommates and I, there were 3 of us, decided we were just going to go through Vin Diesel's catalog.
Nice.
And so we just watched them all, and we started with the Fast and the Furious. And at first I was like, you guys, this is dumb, because I was young and stupid. And then they made me watch them, and I was like, holy shit. This is the happiest I've ever been. It's like my love for Shrek. It doesn't make sense. But it
doesn't have to.
It just makes you feel good. And Sung Kong as Han is such. He's beauty. He's grace. He's would die for him. But now I don't have to, because he's coming back. Sorry, spoilers to anyone who hasn't watched the franchise. But like,
that's okay.
The plot
I
doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Whatever. Like this is like comic book levels of what is death. Really, like
watching Fast and the Furious for the plot is like me watching the Transporter movies for the plot. The plot was the excuse to get Jason Statham to take his shirt off and fight people. Like that's what I watched those movies for, and he did it irrevocably. Like he did it every single time without question. There was a fight he had with somebody in one of the Transporter movies, and his shirt had to come off so he could fight them. Like something got spilled on it, he started to bleed, whatever it was. And I'm getting the sense that like a lot of that kind of superficial action, like over machoism, ridiculousness is what's in the Fast and the Furious 2. But the Fast and the Furious seems to be more in touch with its emotional side as well.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot more sentimental than you'd think. And I think that is why it works, because even from the first one, while it is wildly different in tone than the rest of them, because the rest of them kind of take off and they're like, okay, let's get weird with it. I think from Tokyo Drift onward, when they were like, oh, cars look really cool when they drift. What other things can cars do that'll look really cool if we did them? With the cars, let's do that, you know? But it is still... barring the ones that stray away from sort of like the Toretto like clan, the Toretto franchise of humans, it's just like this Dominic Toretto just is a really like soft hard boy.
Yeah.
You know, like he feels a lot, and you really get that in the first one. Like it is really a tender exploration of someone who would be often considered a detriment to society, someone who is a criminal, who is by all standards like morally deficient. But like you see this man who just like loves to race cars and has to make ends meet by theft, you know, and he's very good at cars, so he uses cars to pull heists. But like, it's so interesting. It's such an interesting character piece about Dominic Toretto. And then after that, it's just like, okay, cool, you got it. They're gonna just fly to the moon. I don't know. Fast and the Furious. It's great.
It's so good. I'm such a sucker for a found family narrative as well. And
Yeah.
that's the narrative. Like that's the entire point. But I think, like, you're right. Like, Dominic Toretto he's so soft. And Letty his love interest is not. And I love a big,
it's great.
soft boy, a big, scary, soft boy, and his tiny, angry girlfriend. And that you get that, and I love that. And it's just the emotions. It just makes me feel good feelings.
If anyone needs sort of like a roadmap to understand like when this franchise takes off, it's the best when Paul Walker is not a cop anymore. Like,
oh yeah,
it is the best then when he's just like, nah, I crimes, let's do them. I love crimes, let's go. Crimes are great. That's when it's the best. When they're just criminals, it's fantastic. I don't know what's gonna happen in at the end of 6 or all of 7 or 8, but I am so on board. It is such gonzo action meets like soap opera sentimentality. It is so. It should not work, and it does.
I'm so jealous of you for getting to watch them for the first time.
Oh, it's great. It's great, and no one told me Gal Gadot was in it.
Oh yeah,
and that is a treat.
That's why she's in Wreck-It Ralph. She's playing the same character in Wreck-It Ralph 2. That's why she's in the car video game thing in Wreck-It Ralph.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot believe the Fast and the Furious just improved. Wreck-It Ralph.
That second movie is rough.
Yeah. More like Wreck-It Rough.
Oh wow. My favorite thing about
was a victory sip.
Please cut when you edit this, cut the part where I talk over that. Just have the silence and then victory sip.
Victory sip.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Because whatever I was saying was not important.
Trying to make it lively here. This podcast is fine.
My favorite thing about Vin Diesel, and also it's why I love Joe Manganiello, is because they are Hollywood's worst kept secrets. And what I mean by that is that they are actually giant soft boys who love D&D and love nerdy things. And like, it's my favorite thing to find people like that in the world, because you know, the classic D&D nerd is someone who looks like me, you know, glasses, kind of scrawny-ish. And to have these rough and tough boys who play badasses on the big screen constantly, being into D&D, it just fills me with joy.
Yeah. You do know that Joe Manganiello is in an upcoming deconstructed superhero movie called Arch Enemy, yes?
Yep.
I have watched it.
I haven't seen it yet. I've heard it's amazing.
All I'll say. Because this isn't the podcast for it, but may I recommend that movie?
Okay. I'm glad.
I have to write down a timestamp now.
Please do. While you do that, I will ask the question then. So I'm not going to have you rate the whole franchise. Do you want to rate the first movie? Do you want to rate the fifth movie?
I mean, I could do the whole
franchise. Between Tokyo Drift to 5, since those are all the ones you've watched in completion.
Oh, I've watched all of them.
Oh,
I watched Tokyo Drift. I went back to 1 and 2 because the promise of the Gonzo to come through Tokyo Drift made 1 and 2 like a lot more palatable. It's just like, you know, I'm gonna get through these, and then I get to mash cars together like I'm 5. You know, even though Fast and the Furious, the first one is really great, and the second one also has a lot of charm. Not to discount them, it's just like they are not what this franchise becomes,
right?
And like what suddenly works about them, you know.
So then, if you're gonna sum up the entire franchise of the Fast and the Furious as you've seen it, what 3 words would you use to describe those movies without using the words fast and or furious?
Or any variations or rhymes on numbers.
Correct.
It's cool. I can do this. Cars, family cars.
Perfect. It's true. I never said you have to use different words. You just have to use 3 words.
No, it's cars, family cars. Like. Yeah. Or it's family cars, family. But I think it's cars, family cars.
I think cars, family cars.
Yeah.
More appropriate. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. So now the real question is, are you going to go play the Fast and Furious game that is supposedly terrible?
No. Okay. Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I don't want to do race stuff. I want to watch them do the car thing.
That's legit.
With their magic cars that can pull bank vaults out of walls and apparently fly across cliffs. I don't know. I'm so excited.
They only get better.
I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. They just you're gonna continue to have a great time. That I can promise.
Yeah, I can definitely like feel the like incline. Like in 5 when they bring the rock in and he's just like, I'm badass, like government bounty hunter person. I'm really smart and I'm a badass. And then he, without blinking or laughing, says, "Don't let them get in your cars." It's so good.
And then Dominic,
the best line.
And then Dominic Toretto, not unlike Steven Universe, making every person and or enemy, he makes his new mom.
Yeah.
Dominic is like, "You're my son now," as are all the rest of these people.
All of these.
And
beautiful.
you don't have a choice in that. And you know what? That's what happens.
Also, second review of it, because it just came back into my head, because the first movie was so long ago in the dopamine rush that has been this. Justice for Jesse. Y'all forgot Jesse, and that makes me sad. Justice for Jesse.
I would have been sadder about it maybe had I not just been so consumed with Han and finding it difficult.
Oh yeah, no, Han's the best for sure. But like Jesse doesn't really feel like a part of the stride in the way that like Han does when Justin Lin takes the reins of like the property. Like Han is so special, you know, to like be in this piece and then to sort of be this sort of like mentor, you know. There's just a lot going on for Han that Jesse doesn't really get because the first movie is just very full of incredibly colorful characters.
Yeah.
This is true.
It's too many. So many. Dom and Letty and Mia and Brian and Vince and Roman.
Roman. I was trying to think. I was like, what is Tyrese's name? Because we would always just yell, "Tyrese!"
And Ludacris is in it also.
Ludacris.
As Ludacris, I'm convinced.
No,
he hasn't.
Tej.
Tej? Maybe?
Is it Tej?
I don't remember.
I don't recall. Because I can't remember it because every time I see him, I'm just like, oh, Ludacris.
It's Ludacris.
It's Ludacris. Even though Ludacris is doing a very, very good job playing this character. But I am just convinced that like this is just Ludacris playing a character that is not necessarily like Ludacris. It's fine. It's just Ludacris. Don't worry. I can't help it. He's so important to me. Ludicrous.
All right. Well, in an opportunity to keep this from devolving completely into a Fast and the Furious rewatch podcast, which it could very easily become. I know. Don't threaten you with a good time.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to make one.
Just like a short, like, great.
Micah, as our guest, what have you brought us? What is the most recent thing you have watched?
So I am kind of notorious for not liking to watch new things I haven't seen before. Mm-hmm. CJ's always telling me, lots of people are always telling me, "Oh, you should watch this new thing," and I'm like, I should. I'm gonna watch Gravity Falls for the 80th time. Thanks.
Yes, but, good choices. Good choices.
But that said, on Netflix, I have found that at least these days, and for the last like while, I tend to use Netflix primarily for their international content. They've got a pretty good library of international stuff, and it seems to be growing. So like I watch a lot of K-dramas on there, and just I went down like a Turkish rabbit hole, watched a few Turkish shows on there that were really fun. And the most recent one I watched is a French period show called La Révolution, and it is about the French Revolution, but zombies.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
it was.
Excuse me. This has been the podcast. I have to go watch something immediately.
Oh, for real? You do? You very much do. So not like traditional like Day of the Dead zombies. So basically, what's happening is we're on the like cusp of the French Revolution, and some of the nobility are getting sick with this disease that turns their blood blue, which I was like, yeah. And causes them to be extra strong, and they heal faster, and any injuries or maladies they had before they got infected are now gone, but they also have to drink blood and eat flesh.
So the rich.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right now.
Oh, yeah.
In 2020?
Yeah, the metaphor is like spot fucking on.
It's
and
like
so,
a screaming metaphor.
Oh, yeah. They're not.
Oh, love it.
They're not
yeah,
trying
it's
to
French.
be subtle. They're taking themselves seriously, but not in a way that I'm like, oh, you guys are taking yourselves too seriously. It's just good. There's hot Frenchmen everywhere. So your main like cast of characters are Elise, who is a noblewoman, and her you are introduced to her sister Madeleine and her like lady in waiting Ophélie. And then so they are like, her dad has disappeared and her uncle keeps telling him, oh, he's just in Versailles. And she's been writing to him, but they're super suspicious about that. There's a doctor, Joseph, who works at the Bastille, which has not fallen yet. So he is a doctor in the prison. And there is this rebel group in this that are called the Brotherhood, which are just going to turn into like the organized part of the revolution later. And you have these girls disappearing, like these young women are disappearing, and everything kind of kicks off when they find the horribly mutilated body of this young woman who has been munched on by somebody. So I don't want to like give much away, but there's lots of like class tensions. The main girl had this romance with a orphan peasant boy that her father like killed him, and so she's really sympathetic to the revolution, but her uncle is an asshole and his son is insane, and then people start getting infected and getting eaten, and that's fun. And there's this character played by Gaia Weiss. She plays Marianne, which is a reference to time for Micah's History Corner. Marianne is kind of like, I don't want to say Uncle Sam because she's not at all militaristic, but a similar figure within French culture where she became the symbol of the revolution. She's kind of like Lady Liberty, Justice, Truth, Uncle Sam kind of rolled into one for the French, where she was like the symbol. She became the symbol of the revolution and remains to this day this like important French like symbol of just freedom and justice and equality in general. And she's not like, don't come for me, Madame X. I don't think she was ever a real woman. It was just a symbol, and they chose a woman, and she's often depicted with her breasts exposed because they're like, she is a mother, and she is a mother to all of the people and not just the wealthy people, and she's a giver of life, as all of the people of France are like, they are what gives France life. But there is a character there's a character who is the leader of the Brotherhood, the like revolutionary group, whose name is Marianne, and she's played by Gaia Weiss, who, I don't know, have you guys seen Vikings?
I've seen bits and pieces. I've not seen the whole show.
No, she's in Vikings. She's super dope in this. She wears a lot of eyeliner, and she like, her face was like disfigured by a nobleman when she got into a fight, and so she like wears a mask over half of her face, and then she's got this like eyeliner and this like hair that's like pulled half back and like teased up. She just is everything I want to be.
I see.
Generally, she's super dope. Just like as a character, she's just like this like angry, like, we're gonna kill all the noblemen, and I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it, Marianne. And yeah, it is a really good time. I think it is 8 episodes. There's gonna be more, so it does end on a bit of a cliffhanger. But it's just like, what if the revolution, but also the nobility were blood-sucking monsters, like literally, which is always a good time, and I really, really enjoyed it. So that is the new thing that I watched most recently.
Wow.
That's a good time.
I love it.
That's amazing. And I'm guessing it's in French.
Yes. Yeah. So the reason I chose it was I was like, oh, I need to watch more French things because the language thing I find most difficult in French is listening and understanding. So I have the subtitles on, but I try to use them as little as possible. So I was like, oh, this will be like good practice. And when I saw that, I was like, there was a new French show, and then I was like, wait, there's zombies and it's the revolution. Hell yeah. And yeah, it's a good time.
Is it more horror or drama? Or is it both?
I would say probably more drama. Like more historical drama, a little bit of like, there's a little bit of a whodunit because they don't know at the beginning who killed Rebecca is the name of the girl that they find. So there's like characters who are trying to figure out who killed her. There's Elise who's trying to figure out like what's going on with her dad and what is her uncle going to do with her and her sister, because she doesn't have any brothers and his son Donatien is like nuts. So there's like a bit of a whodunit. There's some family drama. There's a little bit of like romantic drama, but not like a whole lot. And then there are some horror aspects with like the zombies and the eating and the blood and stuff. But yeah,
it sounds like the French television show version of that book that was like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. It is still like a romantic comedy of like manners and stuff, but then it's just like insert zombies in places where zombies maybe shouldn't be, and it's amazing. Yeah.
It is a lot of that, and taking things that like happened in history, and they're like, oh, but what if this happened because the heir to this noble estate was a flesh-eating monster, which can only make things more fun.
Obviously. I mean, I'm surprised at this point 2020 hasn't gone that route yet, but there was
that thing about the mink in Denmark.
I know, I saw. It's like
super gross.
No zombies. We don't need zombies to add to the list. Enough has happened this year already.
No, thank you. Also, didn't some science guy say that aliens are real and they aren't ready to the Galactic Federation thing?
Oh yeah.
Listen, we can't get zombies and aliens in 1 year.
It's too much.
You gotta pick one.
Too much. Just wait a few
2020. You've already tried to throw like murder hornets at us.
Jesus, I
like
forgot about the murder
stop.
hornets.
Yeah.
2020, you are extra, and we have had it.
Well, if you had it's La Revolution is the show. If you had to sum up La Revolution and I know I'm butchering the pronunciation. I am not French. I don't speak French. How would you sum it up in just 3 words without using that word?
I would say French historical zombies.
All right. I mean, that's pretty on point. Like, it's the message across that people need to know.
Yeah, this is the important information you need to know.
Yeah. Now, can you say it in French?
Oh.
Gosh, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know the word for zombie, but I can say it for you.
It'll be worth the wait.
Just give me 1 sec.
I'm going to class up this podcast a little French.
Oh, it's literally just zombie. Let me tell you, when you're learning a foreign language, if it's a Romance language and you don't know what the word is, just say whatever it is in the accent of the language you're trying to speak. It works about 40% of the time.
Nice.
So, les zombies historiques français.
Perfect.
Boom.
Done.
There you go.
Genius. Write that down. Take that. Gotcha.
Awesome. Well, Micah, we're so excited to have you here.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here.
We are
also seriously. Thank you for telling me about French Revolutionary zombies.
Yeah,
I cannot.
It's a good time. Everybody's hot. You've got a good like a not overly done amount of gore, like just enough gore and like just so much class warfare in like the best way.
But
love to see it.
I would love for you to tell the listeners, although they've heard it before, again, remind them about what Below Freezing is about, because it is a favorite here on Screen Snark. Both Rachel and I love the show. I have so much fun every time I get to be on because, like, for me, what I love about your show is that the two of you just don't give a fuck. And what I mean by that is you just want to watch bad movies and talk shit. And if there's good in them, you will you're not just there to badmouth it.
Yeah.
But the idea is to not give a damn and just watch these terrible movies and see what gold we can mine from them, and it's always fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we aim to do. So CJ came up with the concept after the two of us. So when I moved back to the Midwest, we started hanging out again after I'd lived in Oregon for a while, and so we reconnected after college, and both of us really love movies, and so we would go to the movies all the time together, and we will see the gamut. So I think we really solidified the idea for the show after we saw Geostorm in theaters.
Geostorm.
We saw it we didn't know what we were going to see. CJ had just gotten tickets for a test screening for it. So we had no idea what we were going into. We had an idea that it was going to be Geostorm because we looked at what was coming out soon. CJ was hoping that it was going to be Dumbo, but it was Geostorm. and we had such a good time. It's so dumb. We made poor Alex Gradette come on the show to watch it for our year anniversary earlier this year, and whew, what a movie. And so CJ had thought of this name, Below Freezing. He's like, we already like watching bad movies. Let's watch bad movies that are 32% and below on Rotten Tomatoes. Let's make that our benchmark. And we'll just have a different person. We'll have a guest on each week, except for just us, occasionally, because getting guests every week is really hard. And just watch bad movies and decide if they are legitimately bad, or if maybe people were too harsh. Because there's a lot of movies that we've watched that we're like, yeah, that's got 17%, but we had a good time. Now, that's not the majority of them. Most of them are really bad. But we've had some gems. I remember Radioland Murders in particular. That movie is a goddamn delight. I absolutely love it. I can't remember what it has in Rotten Tomatoes. I think it's somewhere in the 20s. But we're just looking to see, does it deserve this really terrible rating that it's gotten, or is it secretly gold? And most of the time it's not, but that's usually fun for at least the listener.
I should hope so.
Yeah. CJ, there are some that CJ has picked because he knows that it will make me internally combust. Mm-hmm. And then some that he hasn't necessarily known, but as he's watched it, he's texted me oh my God, you're gonna die. And then I watch it and I'm like, yeah, I'm texting you from beyond the grave because that killed me. Did you come on for Lara Croft Tomb Raider?
Yes. So I should let the listener know that me and Micah are pretty tight now. We're friends. We follow each other on Twitter. We're pretty close. But there was a period of time where I wasn't sure where Micah might actually come to New York and murder me in my sleep because I made her watch Tomb Raider, the Lara Croft Tomb Raider movie starring Angelina Jolie, the original one, which I had fond memories of, even though it got horrible ratings, because I remember liking the soundtrack and I liked Angelina Jolie as an actress, and I liked the Tomb Raider movies, the Tomb Raider games. And so I was like, it wasn't that bad. And then we watched it, and CJ messaged me on Twitter, and he's like, Micah's gonna kill us. This is bad.
I didn't kill anyone.
No.
It was close.
But you were unhappy when we recorded that episode.
Did not enjoy. Would not recommend. Yeah, that one was rough. It wasn't the worst one though. I think there was one recently, I'm trying to remember, that I said was worse than Bad Boys 2. But since I can't remember which one it was, I think that it must not have been, because man, Bad Boys 2 just sticks in my memory as something that caused me pain. CJ watched, he had me over because this was in the before times when
we could see people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He had me over to watch it because he's like, I gotta witness it. He's like, it's not enough just for you to text me during it. I gotta witness it. And it's probably good because I couldn't have texted him because my hands were clenched in rage the entire time we watched it. God,
amazing. If I recall, Rachel, your first appearance was for Valentine's Day, wasn't it?
New Year's Eve.
Oh, New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, we did New Year's Eve. A wretched film.
It's not good.
It was so bad. Like, if you could suck all of the charisma out of a Love Actually.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best, worst pitch for that movie I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's accurate, man. It was just a series of, from boring to insidious vignettes of increasingly unlikable people. That's that movie.
It stunk real bad.
It's not good.
It's a real stinker.
I've done my share of inflicting things on people as well. I think The Covenant is probably my bad boys too, in terms of things that I've like inflicted on people. And I made Case watch it recently for another pass, and I did feel kind of bad about that.
I'll admit, editing that episode, because I edited another pass, listening to your joy of this movie made me want to watch it. I haven't yet, but like I genuinely
Have you never seen it ever?
I've never seen it ever.
Watch it. Listen. Ignoring everything else, like plot and script, not important. Abs. There's lots of them. They all have at least 8.
At least 8.
They're just pretty. Stephen Straight's lips are one of the wonders of the world. And Sebi Stan is there at his most chaotic. I wish people would let him be chaotic more, because like the Winter Soldier is very near and dear to my heart, and I love a good smoky-eyed smolder.
Same. I'm a big fan.
And he's so tragic and generally pretty stoic when he's not charming the pants off you as Bucky. But like, let Sebi Stan be a chaos entity again. Because it's so much fun. He does his best with that real turd of a script. And it's just fun, and I think you should watch it.
All right. I'll have to report back on that.
And don't be upset at me when you discover that it sucks, because it's 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, so like, go in with that expectation. But
fair enough. Look, I don't always agree with Rotten Tomatoes, and I'll be the first to say that because of Venom, I want Marvel's Dan. Still, like, Venom
it's the best thing. Marvel's Dan is the best thing that exists in either the Sony or the Disney MCU. Like, within both of them, the best thing is Marvel's Dan. And we're getting more of him. Confirmed. He has been cited in Venom 2.
In Venom 2, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, boy. Ugh.
CJ and I will be going to see that with excitement, assuming that that's a thing that we can ever do again.
Right.
I'm sure we'll get there again.
Eventually.
Hey, time's been bad before. They got better. Time's been bad before. But thinking on things that are bad but got better, sometimes it's very fun to watch a bad movie. Like I know we've like thrown a lot of shit at the films that have graced the Below Freezing podcast, and I want to make it abundantly clear that New Year's Eve is a shit movie, but getting to laugh about a shit movie with good company, one of life's greatest joys.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
One of those treats that make you want to just go, I'd rather watch the bad movie and then go, that was real bad. Wow, let's talk about it. How was that bad? How do we fix it? That's also really fun. How do we fix it?
Exactly.
What is it doing? What is this madness?
Like, CJ and I saw, I think, was it the same year? I might be making this up. But 2 film experiences that stick out in my head, if I'm like, as being like diametrically opposed, is CJ and I went together to see 1917, and we went to see After, which was our Valentine's Day special last year. And listen, 1917 is a marvel of cinematic technical achievement.
Yes.
But after we left, I was tired. And I was kind of sad. When I left After, and like when CJ and I both, when we walked out of After, we had laughed our asses off, and we had a freaking great time. And we watched the sequel the other day over Discord, with a couple people that have also been on Below Freezing, Dan Purcell, friend of all pods, Dan Purcell.
Yep.
And
Love Dan Purcell.
Friend of every podcast, Dan Purcell.
All the pods. And our friend Megan Lynn. The four of us got on Discord and we watched After We Collided. What a time. We are going to record an episode on it sometime in the new year. So we're on hiatus at the moment because both CJ and I are just like ready to collapse into dust after the year we've all had. And so we're on break until we're coming back, I believe, February the 6th. And CJ has the list, but I know After We Collided is on the slate for like our beginning episodes. And you guys, I've never seen such horny chaos. It was amazing.
Those are my magic words. Horny chaos.
Oh my God, these straight kids are disasters. And then there's just goddess Khadijah Red Thunder just like observing it all in like a magnificent queer judgment. She's not in it nearly enough. That's my primary critique of After We Collided, is there's not nearly enough Khadijah Red Thunder. But yeah, so that's something to look forward to when we get back from hiatus at some point, is I know we're doing that, and that's one that we've already seen, and like spoilers, but my God, what a chef's kiss. Like what a horny disaster.
I love when you come out of a bad movie and had such a good time that the movie's no longer bad. The movie that comes to mind for me, and I don't know if you guys have done it, and I know it's Below Freezing on Rotten Tomatoes, but have you both seen the masterpiece that is Jupiter Ascending?
No, I haven't. I want to.
And I've been saving it for that purpose.
So Jupiter Ascending was a movie that I had no interest in seeing, mostly just because I'd seen the trailers, but it wasn't on my radar. And then friend of the pod and the creator of our logo of the pod, Katie Bug, got screener tickets. And she's like, hey, do you want to go? I was like, sure, why not? Yeah. I'll go to see a movie with one of my best friends. Why not? How bad could it be? It's so bad, but it's so bad that we had such a good time. Like, I mean, Eddie Redmayne is a fuckhead anyway right now, but that said, It is the most... He is in another movie the whole time.
I've heard he's just like a chaos entity.
Correct. And also, Channing Tatum, who I already liked, he's in that like soft boy, hard boy realm with a lot of the others.
He's a himbo.
He's a himbo.
He's Wolf Himbo on Space Skates.
So in this, he's a wolf himbo on space skates with wings by the end.
With wings. A winged wolf boy. I honestly, I was going to say he had wings, and I questioned myself because I hadn't seen this movie ever in my whole life, and I was like, there's no way that he has wings. He's got space skates, and he's a wolf. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that my gonzo brain had added wings.
No.
And I was like, that can't be right. No one would sign off on that.
Also, Micah, mutual fave of ours, Sean Bean is in it as well and has a prominent role in the story. But there is a moment in the movie. This is how I sell it. There's so it's starring Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum. They're the leads.
Right. I couldn't remember who the female lead in it. I knew it was someone that I knew.
There's a moment where Mila Kunis is surrounded by bees, but they're not attacking her or stinging her. And Sean Bean goes, the bees, they're not stinging her. They recognize one of their own.
She's a bee?
No! I think she's some kind of royalty. I can't.
Bees are all royals?
No.
Then the worker bee is a
I might be paraphrasing, but it's literally something like that, and it's just the wildest stuff.
No, for sure.
Oh
I just cannot believe say that she's a bee.
I can't. I don't know that I can wait anymore.
I'm crying.
I'm telling you, you'll thank me, Micah, if you watch this movie. And I will happily come on the pod in the future, in the far-flung future, to talk about this hot mess. Because I love the Wachowskis. And the Wachowskis...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The Wachowskis made this movie to be, like, 3.5 hours. Like, it was meant to be this giant epic. And then they had to chop, like, an hour's worth out of it, which made it incomprehensible. But I've read, like... I've read the full script, and I think it's either the full script or like the full synopsis of the story, and like there are key scenes they had to pull out in favor of getting the studio to greenlight it, because this is their first big thing since the Matrix trilogy, and like
didn't Speed Racer happen between this?
Oh, maybe Speed Racer did. This was
I think Speed Racer came
Racer. I think
I love Speed Racer. You're right.
Yeah.
This was their first big movie since Speed Racer, but Speed Racer didn't have critical.
Speed Racer
it tanked, right?
Tanked, unfortunately, and I think that is one of the great tragedies of cinema.
It was a phenomenal movie.
It really was.
But they were struggling to get this greenlit, and I think part of getting it out to the masses was chopping it up, as I understand it. Also, something I watched this week, just because I was reminded of it, because as of when we're recording this, it's Cyberpunk Week on Certain POV, and the episode Matrix Revolutions is another past Cyberpunk Week episode. And while Case and his guests were talking about it, I was reminded that there was a video game that came out, I think in the 2000s, called The Path of Neo. It was a video game version of the trilogy movies, and there's a moment in the game when you get to the final Smith battle from the movies, where he fights all the versions of Smith flying around, that it goes to a white room with like these pixelated avatars voiced by the Wachowskis. They were still the Wachowski brothers at the time, saying that we can't do that climax with this Jesus moment, because that's not very video gamey. So instead, you're going to fight a giant mecha Smith, and then you, in fact, as Neo, fight a giant mecha Agent Smith in this video game. And this is a scene that exists in a video game created by the Wachowskis. It's that kind of nonsense in cinema that makes me love those two even more. And so what I'm saying is, listeners, go watch Jupiter Ascending. Do yourself a favor.
Did not realize that it was the Wachowskis.
Yeah.
I don't think I can wait.
Yeah.
You already sold me on a space himbo with skates, who's also
werewolf.
Cool.
Yeah.
A himbo werewolf in space with skates and wings.
Yes.
How do I resist
played
that?
by Channing Tatum.
Played by Channing Tatum.
Who, I'll be honest, never really did it for me. He's just got such a big old neck.
Yeah. But, I mean, listen, he's got a very big old neck, but I have loved Channing Tatum from when Channing Tatum was Good Dance Boy.
In Magic Mike.
No, in...
was it Step Up?
Step Up or
One
Save the Last Dance, one of them.
I think it might
one
have
of
been
the
Step
dance
Up.
movies where the hip hop dancer goes to ballet school.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah, as an actor, I like Channing Tatum, and I like when people let him be funny, which I imagine Jupiter Ascending probably isn't that, but just like generally, I like when people let him be funny, because I think he is really charismatic, and especially when they're letting him do comedy. Magic Mike stressed me out. I didn't realize it was going to be so... I thought it was going to be more like what I've heard the second one is.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's
the second one's great.
Where it's just like good times and lots of like hip gyrating.
It becomes the Fast and the Furious of male stripping.
My God. No one's ever sold a movie harder.
It really does, because then it's not about like, it is literally like they are just doing the stripping. And they're like, I think they're on a road trip. Don't
No,
ask
I think
me.
that's right.
It's
I think
been
they
a
like
while.
go somewhere.
Yeah. So like the second one, vastly superior to the first one, because it's just like they just were like, no, here's what people really want.
I don't want to be sad about Alex Pettyfer's existence. I just want to see dancing, please.
Yeah. Another Joe Manganiello joint.
Yeah.
Weird. Just all
man.
over the place, Joe. Good on ya.
All right, before we wrap up the show, I'm going to ask this question because it's inspired me because of Below Freezing. What is the worst bad movie you've ever seen that actually made you like unhappy and upset? You know, because we've been talking a lot about the joys of bad movies and how we get through. And so, like, there are two movies that come to mind for me, and then I will hand it off. One of them is the third Scorpion King movie. Yes, there were three. In fact, I think there were more than three. But the third Scorpion King movie without The Rock, it was like a prequel, and it's just, it was just painful to even try and make fun of to watch. And then the movie that made me question a fandom for a show that I loved, which was the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. I loved the show. It was dumb. It was irreverent. I'm a Meatwad stan.
Yeah, it was that like mid 2000s like edgelord humor.
Yeah.
Just like, we're going to be gross and dumb.
The movie was so WTF that I walked out. I was just like, what? I want my 2 hours back. What happened? Why?
Ooh, I'm scrolling back through. I've opened no, that's just white light against the screen. I've got my podcast app open and I'm scrolling through our Below Freezing catalog because I know there was one that I just had a worse time while watching. Well, that might not be true, but that I think was a worse movie. Because like Bad Boys 2, I feel like I do need to mention in this moment because it's just like, just when I thought there couldn't be a different genre of offensive, it would pop up.
No.
That was what upset me so much about that movie. Let's see. I really fucking hated Little Nicky. That just I'm sorry. Am I saying mean things to you?
No.
I mean,
no.
I loved it as
you
a
are
kid,
correct.
but I was a kid.
Yeah.
I probably would hate it now.
Yeah, I just got it because I didn't see it, I missed the window, so I didn't find it funny, and I thought the accent that Adam Sandler was doing was just really, really grating. So that was one, and then I really didn't like At First Sight with
I don't know that one.
Val Kilmer. It's from the early 90s. It's this drama about this man who is blind, and he works as a massage therapist, and this rich lady from the city falls in love with him, and he moves in with her, and then she's like, let's get you this surgery to give you your sight back. And so he gets his sight back, but it only lasts for 4 months, and then it goes away again. And so it's all of that drama, and then also the relationship drama between the two of them, and it all felt really ableist in really icky ways, and it was just boring, and the two of them were not charismatic in it at all. And so not only was it with something like Bad Boys 2 or Little Nicky, I'm I can see where people find this funny, or there may have been moments that were funny that were just drowned out by all of the other unfunny stuff. But with At First Sight, not only was it problematic and low-key offensive, it was also just really boring, and it was really long, and so it was just this 2.5 hour slog where I was God, I just want to fast forward through this.
All right.
So yeah, those are mine. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's what I asked
Dumped a
for.
real bummer on you.
No, please don't worry. Mine's The Crow, and that's all I'll say about
Fair.
it. Bye.
All right, no, that's fine.
I've literally said enough about it,
Yeah.
and now it is forever what's that worst movie? And I'm I don't even.
No, that's
This
fine.
is ruined. That movie is literally ruined a part of me now.
I mean,
A part of me is wrong after having watched that film. I hated it so much.
I get
If
it.
you ever want to hear me cry on air during a podcast, go to the Infinity Podcast episode where we watch The Crow. I am
Oh no.
so miserable I cried.
Oh god. I think CJ and I have talked about this with each other and on Below Freezing before about how our algorithms are just broken now.
Mm-hmm.
Both on Netflix, it's here's this shitty thing. It looks like your kind of thing, and I'm damn it, you're probably right. But also just internally, we'll walk out of a movie theater, and if something was mediocre, we'll be yeah, you guys great, yeah, that was a good time. My bar for what is bad is just, it's so low. I'll watch things that other people are oh, I've got this and this and this and this and this critique, and I'm yeah, but the wigs were fine, so it's okay. I'm just
Wigs are
broken
good.
now.
you had seen the wig tragedies that I've seen. If you had seen these wig tragedies, you would go, this is a good movie. I love that. I love really that good. So much.
It's like something we notice now. Like, what were we watching? I mean, obviously, like Amber Heard's wig in Aquaman is like...
Oh, it's awful. But everything else about the movie is delightful and terrible.
Yes, so
like,
we can
I forgave it.
But like, oh gosh, it's in Medea's, which one is it? Family Reunion. The handsome man whose name escapes me. CJ would know it immediately. He's so handsome, but he's wearing a wig. You can literally, like, it's like you can see the wig glue in the back. No. And we're like, my God. But, like, Mess Mikkelsen's wig in Clash of the Titans, great.
Flawless.
Looks great. Yep. He's got them braids. He looks great. I mean, he always looks great. But, yeah, just weird shit like that I'm like, that I'll notice immediately. And, like, that's the thing that'll bug me. But, like, if the acting's really awful, I'm like, I don't know.
It's fine.
No.
Look,
it
the
wasn't
episode
Eon Flux, so whatever.
You wound me. I mean, I wound
myself.
I know. I mean, look, that movie had so much going for it. Mostly Charlize Theron in a tight outfit the whole time. I was like, how can this be bad? And it was bad.
I know. I watched it multiple times in the early aughts. Like when I was the one that suggested we watch that, I thought I was gonna have a good time. I was genuinely surprised when I did not have a good time. I was like, oh shit, now I feel bad, CJ. This is so bad. Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, Micah, this has been a blast. Thank you so
much
for
joining
us.
This is so much fun. I'm so honored that you guys brought me on. This is great.
Oh, the honor is ours.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
I think the next step, the next evolution for Screen Snark and Below Freezing for me and Rachel to be on an episode together with you both and do something really, truly terrible. Maybe Jupiter Ascending can be that episode.
I'm going to text CJ as soon as we're done recording. I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I legitimately need an excuse to watch Jupiter Ascending because I am sleeping on it. And I know I'm sleeping on it. And if I'm given like I don't want to call it homework, but like a goal beyond it to look forward to in case it just like wrecks my shot. I'm in. All
right. Well, look to 2021 for that in the far-flung future. But before we wrap up, we have some thank yous to make, and then of course we have to ask Micah our final question. But first, Rachel, if you will take us into our thank yous.
Yes. Thank you first and foremost to John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Rimble.
Also thank you to the aforementioned incredible Katie Bug for designing our incredible logo for the show. It is phenomenal.
Yeah, and thanks to the Certain Point of View Podcast Network for continuing to let us be a part of this cast family. We're the Toretto gang of podcasts.
We are
family. We love you, and you can join the family, and it can get bigger, like it did in Fast 5, by joining our Discord server. I'm struggling. It's cool. This podcast is fine.
It all in.
This is a fine podcast. Do not worry.
Fantastic podcast. Yes, you can go to certainpov.com and find a permanent invite link to our Discord server and chat about the things you love, all from the internet, from video games to TV to movies to books. We have a section for everything and a podcast for everything. So come hang out with us there. You can also send us an email at screensnarkpod@gmail.com or write us on Twitter, screen_snark.
Yeah, and rate and review us on the things that you can do that.
Please. It helps us to get featured. Also, give us like actual constructive criticism if there is any. Like, we'll take it, but preferably just 5 stars with no reasoning. That's fine too.
Yeah,
you know, we are that shallow. We'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah, just like 5 and drive. You know, like just
exactly
drop it and go. You know, like you're on like a stranger's island in Animal Crossing. You just drop it, you dip. You're like, thanks, bye. I love Animal Crossing so much. But yes, Micah, I shall ask the final question. The one that I ask everyone. This is weird. I'm introing my own question because it felt right, and now I'm trapped.
Now you're bailing.
Now I'm just like, oh God, Rachel, what is the question you have for Micah? Oh, thank you, Rachel. Micah, in the long history of visual storytelling via film and television, many a trope has arisen in the the ways we tell these stories. If you could choose any one trope from movies or television to instantly and magically be true in your life, which trope would you choose?
Oh, I would definitely choose enemies to lovers.
It's yes.
Favorite. It's the sexiest. I want to have snarky banter and then fall into bed with each other.
Nice.
Yes.
Yep, that's my fave.
Good choice. That's a good one.
That's positively like Shakespearean even. Like
she was so ready.
Ooh.
She had that on deck.
Maybe it's the quickest answer we've ever gotten.
Yeah, it's by far my favorite trope, like of all time.
It's a very good trope.
It's a good one. They made a whole movie about that, didn't they? Wasn't Mr. and Mrs. Smith essentially that, or they were already married?
They were already married.
Okay.
I'm talking like Beatrice and Benedict, Much Ado About Nothing.
There you go.
Like I'm going like, come on, are we talking about some like Elizabeth Bennet, Mr. Darcy bullshit? Yes.
Yes.
I hate you. I love you though. What? It's great.
CJ showed me the 1993 Much Ado About Nothing for the first time relatively recently, and oh my god, chef's kiss. Beatrice and Benedict are everything.
Yeah, was that the Kenneth Branagh one?
Yes.
Or?
Yes.
Yeah, that one's
Kenneth
so
Branagh
good.
and Emma Thompson. It's the best either of them have ever looked.
Yeah, that was my one appearance on Patrick Willems' Can't Get Enough of Keanu podcast. I said the text a lot because I was like, well, in the text of this play, we have to talk about the text.
It was very good.
I was very drunk and pretentious. It was awesome.
All right,
I'm not gonna say Keanu's good in that, but like he's kind of.
I get it though. Like
yeah.
Like, I get it. Like, the disconnect, like, melancholy, like, it was at that point where we still hadn't figured out where to put Keanu, and we're just kind of, like, throwing stuff at him. And so, like, you can kind of get, like, oh, yeah, like, this sort of, like, brood thing that's happening, but he's not, like, you know, as out there as your like other Shakespearean characters. He's not Iago, like drawing his plans in the sand and like wringing his little hands of like, oh, I'll get you, Othello, if it's the last thing I do. You know,
and he looked damn good while he did it too. That movie is the best any of those people have looked.
Oh my god, they're so hot. It's crazy.
They are so hot.
Just like every single one of them, I'm just like, how did you all of them so hot? Like, some of them, yes, are hot all the time, but I cannot believe some of it's like KB, love your work, doing all the great things, but damn, dude, you look so hot in this one. It is untenable.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they're all so sexy.
All right, well,
I love it. We got to get out of here. I will talk about Much Ado About Nothing like all day.
We're gonna take this thirst to the internet. You can find us there again, screen_snark or screensnarkpod@gmail.com. Thank you as always for our well, I was being able to talk, and now me words good.
I'm keeping it. That's not
getting fine.
Good.
Thank you, loyal listeners, for listening. We adore you. Thank you for being here. I want to thank my incredible co-host, the brilliant, charming, and lovely Rachel Quirky Shank.
Oh, and I want to thank my phenomenal co-host, the kind, the competent, the beautiful Matt, aka Stormageddon. Hey, competency is an important skill set, and I do not think we recognize it enough. Because a lot of us are just failing upwards,
That's
like
true.
Yours truly. You're putting the work in, and you're getting the results, my friend. Just so you know.
All right.
This is your pep talk.
Right.
Get us out of here.
I'm going to get us out of here. Thank you, as always, for listening. We'll see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
Did you know Rob Thomas has been writing since the mid-90s?
The Matchbox 20 guy?
No, the guy behind Veronica Mars.
Oh, and iZombie.
And Cupid, Party Down, the Cupid reboot.
I haven't seen those.
Me neither, but we should watch them and then talk about them on our podcast.
Yes. We could call it the Rob Thomas.
No, not that one.
Robcast.
Every other Tuesday with Alex and MJ.
Find us at notthatrobcast.libsyn.com or wherever you download podcasts.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.